Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Day 5. I can't even believe it's day 5. How did that happen so fast? Wow. Yes. Big round of applause for hanging in there, for showing up, for doing the work. The homework is on fire. You guys are really committed, and it's inspiring for everybody else. You commit for yourself, and you see so many more people commit because of that. They see the commitment. Just getting everything sorted here, the stream going. All right, type in the chat how this week has been for you. How are you guys feeling? Is there some clarity that's come for you? Is there an aha moment that happened? Invigorating? What's amazing, uplifting? What's been amazing about it? Have you felt like a sense of confidence that's come up for you? Your dream clarified. I love that. And to see how close it is. It's here. Yes, refocus, the focus. The obstacles are more tangible. I love it. Yeah, it's like when we slow down to break things down, it's motivated to move. Yes, very informative, focus, organized, clarity. These are overwhelming. Well, we can help you break it down more. Specifically focused. Day 2, super helpful. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, day 2 is like one of my favorite days because you just really get to dive in and slow down and ask yourself the questions that we look out into the world asking other people. Put it into words has been so valuable.
Yeah, establishing the core. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey,
Welcome to
John.
Day 5. Glad to be here. This is awesome. Congratulations, everybody, for doing the work. I've just been, again, overwhelmed by the number of people that are actually following through with the homework. It's another one of those things that we see. Oh, it's like, oh, there's this challenge or there's this thing doing. But like, how many people are actually taking action and you all really stepping up and really taking this seriously? And it's great because you're going to get so much out of it. You are going to be ready for 2023. Kate Lily, hubby having throat surgery, sending out good vibes, good healing vibes to Kate Lily's husband there. So glad for this today. Happy Friday, everybody. Tech guy. Yeah, we're streaming live to Facebook right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to everybody who's catching this on a replay. This has been a 5-day challenge. And it's been kind of challenging, right? It's been a little challenging, but a little bit like it's fun, but it's also a lot of work. It's very simple, but it can be difficult, right? It can be difficult when you have to answer these questions that maybe you've been putting off for a while. A little anxiety producing, totally understandable. It's totally
also like you may answer those questions and then they shift and they change, or it's a specific EP you're putting out. So what are the answers for this? Or, you in January, you want to start releasing some songs and you want to tell your fans about what you're constantly shifting that. And for John and I, the same, like, we're doing this work alongside of you. We've done it and we will continue to do it. And when we put out something new, we'll continue to look and see like, what are the answers here? When an opportunity comes at the door and you're like, okay, do I want to take this opportunity? Is this where I want to fill my time, or am I directed here? Because now I have so much focus and clarity. And when you are clear and focused, you can take so much more action and you can say no to the things that don't serve the actual goal that you're trying to achieve. So yeah, this is the year for me. I love it.
making statements, making bold declarations, bold declarations of branding to the world. Y'all have been stating out loud 3 actions you're going to take over the next 60 days to get your brand as a music maker ready for 2023. It's been awesome to watch. But just before we dive into that, we got a lot. Again, this 5-day challenge, we planned this thing out to be super action-packed, completely action-packed. But there's probably, I would venture to guess, a couple of people on here that you're like, well, what is this all about? What's this one sheet wonders thing that's been happening in this group? And I saw it in my email and I'm kind of wondering what this is all about. So maybe we'll just take a couple minutes here just to do a little quick recap of what we're doing here. Again, my name's John Kleinbell. I'm an indie producer and songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm the co-founder of 2Indie along with Sonnet here. And we created this challenge to help indie artists to connect the dots on stuff that we were seeing a lot of issues with when we were working for an agency. We also, as we run our own education company, we are constantly given music by our students to consider for pitching to the different agencies that we have connections with. And what we were seeing was a real disconnect between the great music that was being made and how it was being presented. So what we wanted to do with this whole challenge, the whole reason One Sheet Wonders is here, is going to get you out of that vagueness and really, it's like arm you with the language, the confidence, and the striking visuals to match the quality of the music that you all are making as independent artists. So that's the whole point of this. Day one, we did a whole thing on understanding branding. Definitely catch the replays. They're inside the Facebook group as well. They are on YouTube on our growing 2Indie channel on YouTube. We're over like 100 subscribers. Woohoo! Big time. But no, seriously, it's fun. We're starting to throw some content up there. I hosted a big live there last night and had some fun over there with some of you all who were joining me. But yeah, catch the replays there. But day one, we talked about understanding branding. What is branding? Why is it important? And what's a game plan for creating a branding package as an independent artist that you can then take and apply towards your marketing. Day two, like Sonnet said, favorite day. It's such an important day, is to discover like why you're doing this. Why are you a music maker? What is the most important stuff to you? So we broke all that down in day two. There's a ton of questions in there. You'll definitely want to watch the replay, answer the questions, answer the homework. By the way, with the homework, we're going to give you another assignment today. And for everybody who does the homework by the end of this weekend, you're going to be eligible for giveaways. And one of the giveaways is going to be one of these cool 2Indie hats when we get them. We're in the process of wrapping up the design on them, but as soon as they are done, you will get a copy. You will get, I'm just going to copy and paste it. No, you will get one of the very first 2Indie hats that goes out public. So yeah, that's going to be one of the giveaways. I think we're going to give away a couple other things as well. But to be eligible for that, you have to finish all the homework and post it into the Facebook group. But just finish that by this weekend. It's no rush. You know, if you're behind, it's okay. You've got some time to catch up. Do the homework. It'll be worth it in that respect. But yeah, there's a lot of really important homework on that day two. Day three, we talked about one sheets. Like, what is a one sheet? Why is it important? And then I went into Canva and showed you all, like, if you're new to like graphic design, Canva's actually really fun. It's like what you see is what you get. Showed you some of the tools that are in there. It's an amazing tool. You can use it totally for free and get a lot of power out of it. So, and then yesterday, day 4, we reviewed the one sheets that were submitted and gave some constructive feedback on what was working. And the thing that was amazing was like how many of these one sheets were so close already. Maybe it's like 1 or 2 things. And that's what this is. It's like this branding. And in Sonnet, would you agree with me that like with branding, one of the things with it is it's not thinking of it as like, oh, this thing that I do once and then I don't have to worry about it again for another like 2 or 3 years, like changing your tires on your car, right? You know,
No,
it's
it's an
not like
evolution.
that. It's an
Yeah,
evolution. So
yeah. And then you find the answers and you're like, you know what, actually, it's more this. And then you can like go in and shift the picture, or you get a new photo, or, you know, you have a moment where you like another line comes to you and you'll swap it out. And that's the creative part of it, but it's articulating what you do and what your value is, whether that's for the EP you're putting out or for, you know, the playlist of songs that you have that you're pitching to agencies. Whatever your goal is, it's going to continue to shift and morph around that.
yeah. So if you haven't started a one sheet yet, now is a great time to start with that day 3 and day 4 homework. Day 3, you're going to get the game plan for how to make the one sheet. And then day 4, you're going to get a lot of helpful feedback. You're going to learn by watching that call. You're going to learn from what everybody else's feedback was on, like, you know, how do I kind of affect the spacing? Is there something I can do to cut the copy down? Can I get an image that more pops on the page, and can I put it in a place where it's a little more prominent so that the most important information is the thing that you read first, right? So yeah, that's 1 through 4. Today we're at day 5. We're going to do an artist party day. Today we're going to have a conversation about the artists who are successfully leveraging branding and show a ton of examples around that. It's going to be so fun. But we do have some other stuff we want to do. We want to obviously review the homework from day like I was saying, a lot of you did the homework. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that because this is really important. This is about setting intentions, setting a bold branding declaration to the world. And all in all caps. Like, what does that mean to you? We found out what it means to so many of you, and I'm going to just screen share here, and we're gonna just go ahead and dive in. Is everybody ready to review some homework and get more pumped about branding and feel more confident about branding than ever before? Drop a one in the chat if you're feeling it. How are you feeling? You feel good? You ready to rock? All right, let's do this. Here we go. So I'm gonna pull this open, share the screen. Here we go.
Robin, I love the little reels that you've been making. Amazing job.
Yeah. All right. So, again, the homework for day 4, and it's not too late to catch up, is to make a bold branding declaration to the world. 3 actions I'm going to take over the next 60 days to get my brand as a music maker ready for 2023. Get clear and specific. Let's just start going right down the list. Jess Harris Turner, go through Brand Slam, which is an offering that we made yesterday, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Brand Slam a little later. But that's so awesome that you're jumping in with us. Congratulations. And that alone, honestly, if you take Brand Slam, it's going to knock out like probably way more than 3 things. You're going to be taking like 10, 20 things. You're going to be going through 20 specific actions over the next 60 days. But set up my socials. Dreading this, but it's a necessary evil. How many people can relate to feeling overwhelmed about social media, to not really knowing how to work it into their flow, to not even know how to get started with it sometimes? I mean, I relate to that. I totally relate to that. It is a necessary evil. It is definitely because, and why is it a necessary evil? Drop it in the chat. Why do you think it's important to set up your socials? Free marketing.
How people find you, make connections, people find you. Yeah, and it gained new fans. And I think it's a shift. It's a mindset shift. And we're going to be talking about this in Brand Slam. I'm going to be doing an engagement socials little course as a bonus in there. And it's a mindset shift about necessary evil to how, we all crave connection. We all grow when we're vulnerable. So oversharing is what I think a lot of people feel like. I don't want to have to post all the time. I don't want to have to share about what I ate for dinner. I don't want to, obviously that there's boundaries we want to keep in place with what we share. And then we can also be inspired. Like, what inspires you? What inspires you to connect with other people? And we're going to talk about that in the bonus call so that you can start seeing engagement and leverage what you're already doing and let the world know about that in a way that feels comfortable for you. You never have to do you never have to share more than you don't even have to share your face. I have a mom Instagram, has 100,000 followers. I don't even share my name. They don't know what my name is. And that's fine. So I feel like you can really show up in this no matter where you're at in the social game and where you feel about sharing. And so we'll talk a lot about that, but I have a lot to say about social media.
Yeah. Well, and one other thing, I saw a lot of great replies in here. Sonnet's great with social media. Her stuff gets a lot more engagement than the posts that I make on our 2Indie channel. Just not gonna lie, she knows a little better. She knows a little better how it all works. I am certainly a excited kind of newcomer, I feel like, when it comes to social media. I just dive in and try stuff out. But Sonnet's great. And the thing is, I wanted to mention one thing I didn't see in the answers here, which I think is a really big one. It's probably the number one thing that we hear from decision makers in the music licensing world is, what is the first thing that they'll do when they hear a song that they like, that they think is cool?
Check Instagram. Check TikTok.
They're going to check your socials. That is why it's a necessary evil. You have to do it. And you have to have something on there that indicates very strongly to them that you're a music maker.
And it's not about how many people are following you. It's about, what are you sharing? What does it look like at first glance? Like, do you get a feel for who they are and what they create at first glance? Just like your one sheet.
Yeah, exactly. And I love this Jess Harris Turner about finish producing and release my first EP. Here's one of the things that's really dope about when you start your branding. You'll get excited. You'll get so excited about the music that you're doing. And you'll realize how it's all tied in. You may have an EP and you're like, oh, I don't even have a branding plan yet for this entire package. So now you're on a path with this. You're getting ready to like put this out into the world. And then here's the other thing too, on the flip side, this whole thing that you're doing is going to inform your future music making as well. So I'm sure that there's some people just through virtue of doing this 5-day challenge that have found new ideas for what they want to do musically in the months to come. How many people in here have been inspired by something that they've untapped inside themselves, that they've opened up and they realize, wow, this was something that's really important to me that I need to say, that I haven't expressed yet in music in a way that I really feel like I need to do that? Can I get a show of hands for anybody who's been inspired musically just by doing this branding work? Yeah, see all these hands? It's like, it's so amazing. And why is that? It's because we're starting to talk from like the most important part of ourselves. We're talking from like what it is that we were put on this earth to do. And when you do that, you tap into that, you're tapping into your ultimate creativity. You're tapping in, which is like in the form that we like to do. I mean, I like to do visual stuff too, but I'm a musician first and foremost and always will be. And it's so exciting. You know, when you put the stuff into words and it's like, now all of a sudden I hear a melody in my head. Very cool. Yeah, and this is just the first one. I feel like there's like so many answers here that have been given. Let's go through some more.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sarah Peterson, record and have 3 to 4 additional songs produced and finalized for my EP by mid to late November. Talk about accelerating. Talk about speeding things up. Yes, that's great. 2, build my website, including all branding from here, 1 to 2 hours every Monday starting next week until it's done. I love the specificity of that. You're like, I'm committing these 1 to 2 hours every Monday and I'm going to do it. The thing I would ask is who are you working, who's going to be your accountability partner on that to make sure that it gets done. Choose a music distributor and get artist accounts connected and set up for Spotify, probably Apple Music for artists, right? I think Pandora has one now too. Or perhaps they've had one for a while. This is great. There's a lot of music related stuff here. Like it's not just about the branding, but it's like, how does this apply to what I am creating? And then the necessary infrastructure to get it out there into the world. That's great. Great job, Sarah. Let's see, who's next? Amanda. 1, I'm attending the Brand Slam. During the course, I will do the homework, I'll take actions suggested to me, and throughout the course, I will steadily streamline my mission and vision. Above all, I will be grateful. Awesome. Yeah, like I said.
That answer. What a good answer.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's going to be like 10 or 20 different actions that you're going to be taking during Brand Slam. So number 1 covers all 3 of them, but let's keep going. I will continue to work on my one sheet. I will take the suggestions given to me and I will employ them. I'll move textures, lift colors, and write copy to show the best definition of myself as a musician. We're going to show a lot of examples of that today. So it's going to be really cool. In a way, we're not going to be critiquing anything today. We're mostly going to be pulling open examples of successful independent artists that are on the rosters of great licensing agencies. And we'll take a look and see what they're doing with their copy, what they're doing with their visuals. And I'm sure you'll get some ideas just even from today. Let's see. As a singer-songwriter, I'm simply going to write songs. I will hear the whispers of melody and rhyme and act on the gift. I will work with producers to fine-tune my offerings and collaborate with other musicians in the same genre. I will have my songs ringing in people's minds and hearts always. Awesome. This is great. Again, very surprising, right? That you do the branding work and all of a sudden you're inspired musically. You're like, how does this now inform everything that I'm doing? How do I listen? Maybe I listen to myself a little bit more when I'm writing. I heed that inner voice, you know? This is great stuff.
Yeah, beautiful writing in there. We can also see that you write songs in the way that you share.
Hey, Rachel McGoy, let's, my friend Rachel, we used to play shows together in LA. Good to see you, Rachel. Learn more about how to make reels and TikTok. Great. Yeah. Align all of my socials to be cohesive with my brand that I've just recently fine-combed in this workshop. Awesome. Sharpen the blade and then use it, right? Align all of the above for all of the prep, work, and marketing branding for the EP. Her first since 2013. Hey, long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to hear it. You've been doing such cool stuff lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch your journey over the last like 2 or 3 years. So awesome. Yeah, taking action. People making bold declarations of what they want to accomplish these next 60 days.
Clear declarations too. There's so much clarity in it. It's like, oh, I see what I need to do. Because sometimes in this industry, we're like, just tell me what I need to do so that I can do that. Because it feels so murky and like this mysterious place behind the curtain. And when you can start seeing clearly like the next step and the next step, it becomes so much more fun as well.
Yeah, so fun. Hey, let's read one more. Let's see. Mar, aside from applying suggestions for one sheet, schedule and plan a photo shoot that fully aligns with my mission and vision statement as an artist. Past overdue. Last one was pre-COVID times, 2019. Yes. This is like, the visuals are so important, right? The visuals are part of that striking package that you're putting together. And that all needs to be in alignment. So that's great. That's an awesome action item. Work on my socials, commit to post and show up specifically on my YouTube channel. I've been neglecting it for too long. How many out there have been neglecting one of your channels for way too long? I know I have.
Me too.
I know I have. I have to raise my hand.
Yeah, like,
Guilty. This is important stuff. It's in that voice that tells you, hey, you've been like not showing up for this the way that you need to show up for. It's not a voice that is like putting you down. It's a voice. I would suggest to listen to that as like inspiration to move you forward, to take action. If that voice wasn't popping up, it's probably something that you have no interest in doing whatsoever. But because it's continuing to pop up in your mind, or it's like sitting, sometimes these things, if you let them sit around too long, I liken it to like a track that you take almost like a year to produce, like as a producer, or even longer. I've got a couple of tracks that are kind of like they're almost like dead horses. Like I just don't know if they'll ever get finished. Right? It's like that one's done. But it's like these things, they can nag at us, and when they nag at us, then like we're distracted. We're distracted. We're not showing up the way. Sucker. Exactly. They're like vampires. They're like little little project vampires that are kind of sitting on your shoulder or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you need to do in order to like visualize that, maybe that helps. But it's really important.
Dead horses and vampires. Visualize that.
Hook alert.
Avoid that. Take action.
Maybe not a hook alert, but yeah, how festive. Well, it is Halloween. Halloween's coming around the corner here, so it's like, vampires and like the
dead horses.
Yeah, the horsemen of the apocalypse, right? The dead horses of the apocalypse, maybe. I don't know.
That's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah. Let's see. Finish a yellow logo and website. That must be your project name. Awesome. Finish the logo and website. That's great. This is all, Mar, you're doing a lot of great work here in terms of making these statements. Now, how are you planning to follow through with this? How are you planning to schedule it out? Who are you going to be accountable to? This is all very important follow-up questions to these action statements that you're making right here.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think that, again, there's just so much clarity that's coming through in all of this and the next step. So it can feel overwhelming. I saw that come up a few times as well. But if you take a deep breath and you're like, I just need to know what the next step is. I don't actually have to post on all different types of social media right away. I need to pick one or two to focus in on, to get really clear on how do I, you have your branding now with your one sheet. You're going to keep honing in on what that looks like. And you're going to keep taking that really clear action. And then as you get it down, you're like, okay, I've got Reels and TikTok down. Oh, I can put those up on YouTube. I can do them YouTube shorts. Like all of this doesn't have to feel like I have to do all of it today. It's a progression. And that is also why we have Brand Slam, to help you really stay accountable and not feel the overwhelm, but really take direct action that is going to be effective. And I just keep coming back to like articulating what it is that you do and why you do it and how you show up in the world is the answer that everybody on the outside needs, from the industry experts to the fans who want to hear your music, because of all the different things that you guys said. What do you want your listeners to get when they hear your music? It's not just a branding marketing scheme. It's, you want those people to find you so that you can affect their lives, so you can make those changes in the world. And so by doing this, you make it super clear and super focused for them to find you, and for those agencies to get behind you, and for that music supervisor to be like, I am looking for one song. This is in my inbox. It matches exactly what I need. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you. Rather than you feeling like a pest, being like, I have a million songs and I've been doing this my whole life. And they're like, I don't know what to do with that. So here you are, very, very clearly standing up for what it is you do, how you show up in the world. And that's what Brand Slam is about. It's about really connecting you to what that is, getting those assets in place, your EPK, your one sheet, your pitching emails, and you're going to start pitching practice at the end of all of that with an agency and with a music supervisor. You're going to have Instagram, social media work, you're going to have Canva work, and then each week you also have homework integration work, 2 calls a week with our hitting partners, hitting coaches. I'm like, what are they called again? Hitting coaches. So you're not going to just be left out to do it all by yourself. There's a lot of containers. So
Yeah. When I would just say, like, if you've enjoyed this 5-day branding challenge working with us and you would like to continue working with us, this is like the perfect opportunity to take not only the work and the foundation that you've laid down during these 5 days and refine that, but also take it to the next level. So we're talking about a 4-week branding accelerator. We're talking about live mentorship on Zoom every single week. There's going to be weekly calls, tons of bonuses. It all starts November 7th. It's comprehensive, so you're going to leave Brand Slam with a one-sheet bio, elevator pitch, promo photos, artwork, EPK, pitch email, Instagram and PR strategies. And perhaps most important, you're going to leave there with a mindset to success in 2023. You're going to have done not just those 3 things, but you're basically going to be having done like 20 or 25 things and checking them off the list, so that you're not one of those people. And now there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with setting New Year's resolutions, and if you intend to actually follow through with them. But, people haven't even set their New Year's resolutions yet. And in 1 month, you will have like crushed your potential resolution for 2023 to really hit the ground running as an independent music maker. That is the whole point of why we created Brand Slam, is to really just give you that advantage. Mm-hmm. And, just want a couple things to know. I'm going to drop the chat. Oh, it looks like it was already dropped in there. Well, great. Just a couple things to know about Brand Slam is that we are doing a private branding masterclass with Jason Kramer. Let me tell you a little bit about Jason Kramer. He is a legendary KCRW DJ. He was the first to announce star artists Billie Eilish, 1975, Florence and the Machine, Ed Sheeran, and many more. And there's perhaps nobody better on the planet to learn about indie artist branding than Jason Kramer. We're going to be doing a private branding masterclass with Jason Kramer. It's only available to the first 25 people who say yes to Brand Slam. So right now we only have a few spots left in that masterclass. So if you are on the fence and you're like, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure. It's like, if you really want that branding masterclass, say yes right now to secure your spot in that class, because you will not want to miss it with Jason Kramer.
I'm excited for that class.
It's going to be amazing.
He's incredible. He is just like, it's worth it just to have an intimate conversation with him and let him know, like what you're up to in the world, and know what he's up to in the world. It's really amazing to sit with him and hear him talk. He has been a part of this industry for so long. He has a lot to share.
He's such an authority on branding, but he's also such an authority on licensing and obviously like branding in terms of not only the artist, but also in terms of corporate branding. He's worked on Super Bowl commercials. Big name. How do we know if we're in the first 25? Kate Lilly, if you have already purchased Brand Slam, you're in. Like I said, we only have a few spots left for the Jason Kramer master class. So if you act right now, you're in. But if you hold off until tonight or tomorrow, who knows? There may not be a spot available. This is by the way, there's a limited time offer. We're going to be pulling the plug on the cart next week. It's only going to be available for 1 week. It starts on November 7th. And after that, Brand Slam's not going to be available for anybody. We have a very low cap on students here, so everybody's going to be seen and heard. Like Sonnet was saying, we're going to have hitting coaches that are in to help with the implementation of the homework that we're giving every week. It's 4 weeks.
It's going to be a small, intimate group. Like, I am so excited for this because I feel like it's easy sometimes to just stop doing the work because nobody notices. But this is going to be a small group where you get to meet up every week, a couple times a week as a group on Zoom and do that homework and get your questions answered and really have that accountability. Nobody falls through the cracks. Yes. Nobody's going to not get the work done if they keep showing up. Just show up for the live calls and you'll get this work done.
You better get ready for a kick in the ass from us too, because you're going to be getting that every single week. We're going to hold you accountable too. You're going to get multiple layers of accountability with this thing when you really want to follow through with that branding work that needs to be done by the end of the year. And just a couple other things I'll say. It's 4 weeks. It comes out to about less than $100 a week to set yourself up to win big in 2023. This is a one-time only offer in terms of doing this with us live. Next time we offer this, it's going to be a pre-recorded online course. So if you love the energy of this 5-day challenge and want to keep the momentum going, this is the way to do it, is through Brand Slam. And that's all. You know, we definitely wanted to talk about Brand Slam because it's a very important thing that we wanted to offer the community. And
Sherry has a question. Oh, sorry. Sorry,
yeah. We will
carry on.
We're happy to field questions. If there's questions in there, feel free to drop them in the chat. And, we will also do a little bit of Q&A at the very end. We do have a lot of stuff we want to cover, though. We want to have this artist party. We want to cover we want to show a bunch of examples of successful independent artists.
Let's do that. And I feel like, Sherry asked a question I just want to address really quickly, and then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. But will you be getting feedback from John and I? Yes, we will be in there. We'll be doing a coaching class every week. You'll be getting feedback from us and the coaches that we've hired to come and give you feedback as well, not just peer feedback. So you'll be getting a lot of hands-on coaching from all of us. And then we want to show you next, we want to show you like some artists in action that have doing cool shit in the world, that have cool branding, and are indie artists, like just to show you how doable it is, how accessible it is, and how close you are, and what it looks like for an agency to have this artist on their roster, and if you go to their website, how elaborate or not elaborate it actually is, but how clear the messaging really comes through. So let's do some of that so you guys can really see how possible this is for you.
It's totally possible. And we're showing agencies. So basically, we are going to go through some examples of rosters or example artists from rosters of successful licensing agencies. And these agencies do sign independent artists. So this isn't a thing where it's like, oh, it's all just a bunch of label people who have like a big team or something like that. You know, a lot of the folks that are on these rosters are people like us. They're independent artists. So we're going to be diving in here and jumping in and giving, we're not going to be giving critiques on any of this stuff. We're going to say, hey, look at this. And also I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of the similarities between like what we have been talking about these entire 5 days and what you're seeing actually put onto the screen. So let's dive in without further ado. Again, just going to drop Brand Slam in there just in case anybody didn't catch the link there. We're going to talk a little bit more about it later, but let's bring the focus back to the workshop and the artist party. Let's get this artist party going. Who's ready to start this artist party? Let's do this. Here we go. All right, so we're going to jump in first with Lyric House. Now look at this striking visual like right off the top. Marg. LA pop artist Marg is a fusion of glamorous and gritty, with languid vocals that soften her self-written, cutting lyrics that hint at the rawness of human life. As a fully independent artist, Marg has garnered millions of streams. How much does that tell you in like 2 sentences? Does it tell you a lot?
Yeah.
The visual, it all matches up. It's all in alignment. How
Mm-hmm.
cool, right? Here's another one, Little Luna. Like this, the lowercase. Notice the lowercase instead of the all caps. It could definitely be part of the branding that you do. It's like you decide whether how your artist name is going to be spelled and what case you're using, and are you throwing in some type of a non-alphabetical character to swap out as one of the letters. Little Luna is a singer and songwriter who directs her own music videos and is inspired by cinema. Before allowing herself to make music, she had been acting since the age of 12, continually surrounded by the magic of being on set. Sync is the intersection of all her loves coming together. That is such a cool statement. Sync is the intersection of all her loves coming together. So, as a sync artist, what a cool angle to talk about her love of acting and loving being on set, and then her music works really well to picture. What a cool way to kind of just seamlessly work in there that you're a sync artist without sounding stuffy. Like, you could easily say, like, hey, I'm a sync artist. How boring is that, right? But this is a very cool way to say it, isn't it?
Well, it
Sync is
legitimizes the artistry behind it as well. It, it creates like she's got purpose for why she does it. She's so passionate about it.
Yes. Sync is the intersection of all her loves coming together. She even creates a cinematic version of each of her singles, featuring string elements by violinist Alice Stampler. Little Luna geeks out when the right scene is paired with the right song, and she can't wait to experience her own music in that context. With her first single releasing only a year and a half ago, she's already passed 1 million streams across platforms. Little Luna draws from the moon and writes from her heart. What a cool bio. You learn so much about the person. And what a cool image, too. Mm-hmm. What a cool image with like a lot of depth to it. We're talking about depth that there's a lot of depth in just like that one image right there, just because of the cool, I don't know if that's a light refracting across. I'm not a professional photographer, so I don't know the specific language to use there, or whether that was just something that was done in Photoshop, but it's very cool, like a lens flare of some kind. Oh, it could be a grass blade too. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, love that. Voodoos. So these are, let's see, hailing from Glasgow. Voodoos made their mark on an already bustling music scene after releasing their debut EP, Late Night, Early Morning. Since then, they've built up an impressive following, and in the summer of 2019, the band were invited to play several festivals, including Why Not, Tramlines, and Neighborhood Festival. The released 2019 single, Do It Myself, then saw the band sell out 2 consecutive headline shows in their hometown. The latter of these shows sold out within hours, going on sale, and took place in the famous King Tut's Wawa Hut. Following the sellout, Voodoos were invited to embark on tour with the Lathams, putting on impressive shows and completing their first run of dates south of the border. This sounds like a very typical band type of a bio. Very cool photo, right? Mm-hmm. What does this say to you when you see this? What might this say about the music? I don't want us to get copyright stricken, so we're not going to play any music today. But what would this perhaps their music just by the photo? Lighthearted, retro,
Mm-hmm.
old school.
I feel like they might have some cool harmonies.
Fun.
There's something very legitimate, they're not like just so they feel a little, Monkeys, the Beatles, humorous, 70s, totally.
A little bit of boy band in there. Yeah, we don't know, but there's something intriguing about this, even though they don't talk about like what their music actually sounds like in the bio. Mm-hmm. So much. I'm not familiar with the band that they were that was referenced in there. So maybe other people here know. The band joined the Future Heads. Yeah, so there's some bands in there I'm not familiar with, but that help give some reference. Again, it's like it's easy even with 1 or 2 references to make a statement about what the music sounds like, because it's almost like, because a band going on tour with a certain artist, okay, it's like, oh, so they must fit into this genre of music. So that's one of the things when you're doing your branding, you want to make sure it's easy for people to categorize what it is that you're doing. So in this way, even though I don't know the bands, I'm sure there are fans of those bands that would instantly be able to say, oh, they must make this kind of music. I'm assuming it's rock music. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like a fun potential college kind of vibe with it. Indie rock, maybe. My guess would be indie rock of some kind. But, you know, that'd just be my guess, my educated guess from looking at all this. So this is just a few examples from Lyric House. Why don't we pop over, because we've got a few agencies here kind of queued up. Let's pop over to a couple other agencies and see what's going on. So 411 is a great agency, 411 Music Group. Let's just go ahead and randomly click on one. Let's see Crook. This looks visually interesting. Like almost like one of those Mexican wrestling masks. Let's see. Crook. Influenced and inspired by the likes of James Blake, Florence Welch, and Nina Simone. Described as cinematic pop for widescreen ears by Kevin Bronson of Buzz Bands LA. Daniel's voice and style of songwriting garnered quick recognition in the North Bay music scene, where he began in 2005. The band currently resides in downtown Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Tells you a heck of a lot, right? Mm-hmm. In just a couple of sentences. You really don't need a lot. There's a quote that's already in here. Again, like this 5-day challenge, what were some of the things we talked about that you would put into a one sheet? A quote. Elevator pitch. Artist photo.
I mean, it makes you want to click the link. That photo alone gives you a real feel.
It's intriguing, right? Yeah, Cinder, we don't want to get copyright stricken, so we're not going to play any music today. YouTube will prevent the video from being shown in its entirety the way that we intend it if we play music today, but we don't want that to happen. So, but that's just one example. Let's go through here some more. This looks interesting. Let's see this. Like, see how many eye-catching photos there are. Mm-hmm. It's very simple colors. Gold. Let's see. I don't know if you pronounce that, Alice. UK singer, producer, and visual artist Alice is known for her highly distinct sound, fusing tribal, alternative, electronic, and ethereal soul together with powerful and expressive vocals. I can hear what that sounds like. Yeah, I can totally hear that. Also, her look. She looks like that sort of an artist, right? Mm-hmm. Her look completely matches the description of the music. Raised in the suburbs of North London, she was classically trained on the piano and violin by her musician and composer father, later quitting as a teenager to pursue songwriting. So, question for everybody. We've seen already so many examples where the photo directly matches what the music sounds like. I mean, we didn't play the music, but the descriptions of the music. Wouldn't you say that the photo is a direct representation of what the music sounds like? It's a striking visual representation. There's nobody posting a photo. I'm sure there are some. If we were to go through every single artist on here, there's probably going to be some random artist that posts a photo that doesn't really seem to scream out the kind of music that they're making. But for the most part, I think what we're seeing is a pattern that the visuals really need to match the tone of the music, the tone of the copy. It's intentional. That's what we're talking about, being intentional with your branding. Now let's keep reading here. Early influences such as Alicia Keys, SBT, RKT, and Little Dragon led Alice to write and self-produce a succession of EPs, all which received extensive support and acclaim from the likes of Annie Mac, who crowned single TSIER hottest record on BBC Radio 1, Julie Adenuga, who awarded her UK Artist of the Week on Beats One, as well as being invited to support Sampha at the London Jazz Cafe. So very cool. There's like a few accomplishments. So we've seen this in a couple of the bios too. It's like, what are like the 2 or 3 biggest highlights in terms of accomplishments of an artist? That's certainly something you can easily cook into the bio or the elevator pitch. There's not a lot of superfluous information here, is there? There's not a lot of extra stuff that doesn't even matter, right, Sonnet?
Yeah, I love it.
It's
I
to the
mean, I
point.
think you've made your point here, and I think that like it just is such an example of how the photo it's all congruent, and you can put in what you've done and your accomplishments in a way that doesn't feel like you're listing them out, but actually feels like it's informing your reader or the tidbits that you really want them to take away. So she did mention some of her accomplishments, and that helps us establish that she's been doing this, that other people notice what she's doing and that they like her too. So we're like, oh, other people are exclaiming, so let me press play. But it wasn't like, just a list of all the things where you kind of start tuning out and wondering, like, well, let me check out another artist because you've started to zone out. So it's worth putting in the work to figure out how to match your vocal and the words and the copy to really make it powerful like this, because it can be so short, it can be so quick, just like this. And that somebody mentioned also, like down below, you can see the song wave file and graphic down there, and it's all in alignment. So let's look at another one, John.
Yeah, very interesting too. Just to, from the licensing standpoint and the listening sessions we do, Sonnet, don't you see those big drops?
Yeah, wave
You
file
can
is
see them in the
on
waveform, right?
point. Yeah, it's on point.
You can tell. Hey, why don't we jump over to Cozy here? We'll jump over to one more agency, and we'll let's just click one on random here. Maya Solovey. Let's see. Trilingual songwriter Maya Solovey's earthy vocals and haunting melodies blend with lush instrumentation to produce a sound that is simultaneously pure and well-worn.
It's
Some very
lovely.
cool and creative words here, right? Not
And it matches the graphic or the picture really well. The treatment of the photo, the colors, the focus of the photo, the way that it's been, just the focus of it, the shadows, all of it make you feel that well-worn and pure and earthy, haunting. All of that is there, and in this photo as well next to it. It's
yeah,
just
and
gorgeous job.
and this is the thing too. It's I don't know if Maya wrote this copy, but I wouldn't be surprised at all because it feels like it was written by a lyricist. It feels that there's word choices in there that are interesting, not cliche. The same thing applies to writing a bio or writing an elevator pitch that would apply to writing a lyric. If you write something that's generic sounding, people are going to tune out. Finding a way that's conversational, but using words, I love the simultaneously pure and well-worn. Like well-worn, I mean, it could sound vintage. It could say that could be substituted with other words, but it might not have the same impact, the same emotional impact when you read it. I love it. With placements on Heartland, Royal Pains, and numerous commercial features in Europe, Australia, and the US, Maya boasts an extensive selection of songs across genres and styles.
I think this is such an amazing thing to take note of. She's mentioning what she's accomplished and even some of her sync placements, but in a way that feels so legitimate and so like it makes you want to actually go and listen to, rather than just like, oh, she's a sync artist, because that doesn't come across here at all. It's that her music is so incredible and profound that it's telling these stories, and that she can also say across genres and styles, and yet still there's some very strong through lines that help us establish who she is and what she does, even by allowing it to be open to across genres and styles. And then if you look at this quote on the bottom, like, that's an amazing quote to have from Rolling Stone Spin. So quotes are powerful.
A
You
deep,
guys can
enchanting
really see how
sound.
quick you can pull this all together.
Yeah, a deep, enchanting sound that's unlike anything else out there right now. What a powerful quote to get from Rolling Stone and Spin. Crazy, right? So this is great. And I did also want to mention, we did some reviews of one sheets yesterday. And I remember one of the one sheets, it was, there was somebody who was listing, oh, and I work in pop, rock, jazz, urban, country, bluegrass, like it was a lot of different genres. And notice how this sentence relays the exact same amount of information, but it's much more powerful. And it is a lot.
As well.
It's easier for people to understand. They don't read the sentence and have to understand, oh, it's this and this and this and this, and it's hard to like take all these different genres that don't necessarily have much in common and kind of hear how that sounds. But she leaves, there's a certain amount of mystery that's left open, but the setup to that mystery is really great because you get a feel for the earthy vocals and haunting melodies that's applied to whatever genre that she works in. So this is killer stuff. So who here, just by going through, and by the way, what we're doing here is not rocket science. It's like, this is publicly available information. It's great. You can go in and get information on these different artists that most of them on these agencies that we pulled up are independent artists. So you can pull them up, see what marketing copy they're using, see the strategies that they're employing. Notice how, with the exception of that one band, all of these bios are super short. All of these are resembling more of an elevator pitch than an actual bio. It's because like the elevator pitch has replaced the bio in a way. You know, there are going to be times when you're going to need a fuller bio, say on a PR, like a press release of some kind, which, by the way, my friend Emily Anderson, who's a very successful singer-songwriter, she does all of her own PR, and that's going to be included in Brand Slam as a bonus. So if anybody wants to know how to do their own PR and succeed at it, that's going to be really fun to dive in with her on. But Sonnet, I could see we're running. How is that this just goes by so fast? It really just does. This work is fascinating, though. Would everybody say that this has been fascinating to dive into? Because I just have so much fun, like, taking a look at this with you all, like, just for a few minutes. It's such.
I muted myself, and then it wouldn't let me unmute myself. You're being like,
Zoom's fighting with us. Help us, everybody! Zoom's fighting with us.
Yeah, this has been incredible. So grateful for the chance to hold this space and to see you guys show up so vulnerably and real, and to share, you know, what your music is supposed to do in this world, and your vision for your music, and how it makes your listeners feel, and why you started creating music in the first place, and such real, honest shares that we all can relate to, and it helps you feel like we're all in this together. So if you guys have questions about Brand Slam, now's your time to ask them, because we're going to pop off in a few minutes. We do have homework for you this weekend that we want to give you as well, because that homework is going to be what sets you up for winning one of our hats, and really sets you off so that you don't feel like this just dropped out of nowhere. So, you know, it'll keep that energy going this weekend. We're going to drop the homework for you. But yeah, we would love to see you guys in Brand Slam. It feels like such the next step for setting you up for 2023. I know John and I, we're constantly doing this work too, and we hold each other accountable for this work, and we do it in the way that we show up in 2Indie, and we're inspired to do it and share it with all of you. And that's what this is about, you know, and it's always the thing that ends up at the bottom of the list, but it's the thing that makes the biggest difference. When you guys saw these artists that we like, how many of you were like, I want to press play, press play, John. We want to hear what they sound like, because they're so enticing, and so, in, you know, the vision, it all matches. You're like, what is that? What is that? I want to hear what it sounds like. And you can create that for yourself as well. So if you aren't joining us for Brand Slam, I would love to hear what might be holding you back. Drop it in the chat. Let us know. If you have questions about it, let us know.
We did have one question that came in here. Sherry Lynn asked, what's the maximum number of people you're going to have in the class? So we are hard capping Brand Slam at 50 people. So, and the first 25 people who sign up are going to qualify for the Jason Kramer Master class on branding. And there are still spots available in that, but there are only a few spots available. So the time to act is right now if you want to get that Jason Kramer bonus. Yeah, we wanted to make this something that was because it can be very easy to get lost in the shuffle, right? And that's just as people, you know, we're students as well. You know, we're students. We have participated in classes. We've participated in online experiences, and it can be really frustrating to feel like you're getting lost in the shuffle, that you're just like one person in like some kind of massive thing where it's like, oh, I thought this was going to be intimate. I thought this was going to be catering to what I need and really addressing the concerns that I have. So Sonnet and I think like anybody who's in here, who's in our 2Indie community, our licensing base camp, or any of our other offerings that we've done in the past, it's always really important to us to make sure that we create a space where everybody does have attention and everybody does have the opportunity to ask the questions that they need and get the support that they need and the encouragement and the accountability around it all. So, we felt like 50 would be a good cap for this in terms of like, and the thing is too, like we have hitting coaches, we have people that are brought on in order to help out with the homework every week, where if it goes like bigger than like 30 or 40, we're going to bring in more hitting coaches. We're always going to scale to make sure that everybody's getting the support they need, because we really feel like this is important to do. So that's the long answer to it.
Yeah, and I saw Derek saying that you work during the day, so you're looking forward to the video version of this, but also these will all be recorded. So if you can't catch it live, or you've got something going on, you're working during the day, it's tough to catch them all live or to show up. The video recordings will be there for you. You can always catch the replay afterwards. But the point is you're going to have this group and this accountability and these bonuses that are going to help you set you up for 2023. So that's the timeline. If you want to hit go and send and be like, have your runway all set up for 2023, this is the time to hop in.
So Megan's got a question here. In the pitch session, will you be streaming student songs for feedback? So the way that's going to work is we're going to be bringing in Julian Drucker, who's a amazing freelance music supervisor. We're going to be bringing in Wendy Griffiths, who runs a sync agency called Truly Music. And what we're going to be doing there's going to be separate sessions. And what you're going to do, it's going to be during week 4 after you've assembled your EPK. So you're going to submit the EPK, and then we're going to actually show the EPKs to these decision makers, and then you're going to get feedback, basically live feedback on the EPKs. We're going to go through as many of them as we possibly can. As we showed during when we were doing the feedback on the one sheets, everybody benefits from everybody's feedback. I don't believe we'll be able to guarantee that every single person will have their EPK screened live, but I will also say that people jump into stuff and then they don't actually do the work. So, it's quite possible, 30 or 40 people may say yes to this, but only 20 people will actually finish the EPK. But we're going to get through as many EPKs as we can, and it's going to be super valuable. It's going to be a really fun session. Both of these professionals they're very cool people. They both understand where artists are coming from. They have a lot of compassion for where artists are coming from, but they also understand the business side of things and what would actually pop out to them when they're first looking at an artist and deciding whether they want to work with them or not.
And I just want to say, Robin, like, I really hear you. And I feel like we've been having these conversations in our small little mastermind group about investing in yourself and really showing up, and Robin just being so resourceful, knowing that there's like this push about it and being like, oh, well, the money feels a little tight, but also taking that step of investing in yourself so that you can have the things that hit the goal markers that you really want in your life. There's nobody better in your life to invest in than yourself. If your parent came to you and was like, I want to take piano lessons, you would figure out how to invest in them. And so this is a chance for you to invest in yourself to really achieve what you want to achieve in 2023. We really stand by that. We've created, we put it at a price point that we feel, really is helpful for people, and hopefully as many people can join us to get the bonus. We've got a few spots left. I think I just checked, actually. We've got like very few spots left
for the Jason Kramer bonus. Yeah. Which means we're about halfway through registration for Brand Slam. The cart's not closing until next Thursday, but if you want that Jason Kramer bonus, I would really strongly suggest acting right now. There was one other thing I wanted to respond.
Oh yeah, and Julian and Wendy will get all, a list, a link to all of your EPK, so they're gonna get that information as well. They're gonna
So and here's another thing to know about this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be kind of fun. There's gonna be a little friendly competition during the 4-week challenge. During this 4-week Brand Slam experience, we are going to basically be doing the scouting for our Brand Slam sampler, which is going to be taking the best EPKs from the submissions from the group And then what we'll do is we'll create a sampler off of that of the EPKs, and we will send those EPKs out not only to Julian and Wendy, but we'll probably just send the entire list of EPKs because people will be submitting them in. It'll be very easy for us to do that. But for our Brand Slam sampler, we're going to take the best of all of the submissions, and then we're going to send that out to, we have an extensive network, as was evidenced with our Get Repped conference that we did back in July, where we brought over 35 different licensing agencies from all over North America and a couple even in Europe. And we're going to be sending out that Brand Slam sampler to everybody in our network. So that could really help connect the dots, because that's the thing too. We want to not only like give you a lot of practice on the inside stuff, making that something you can see and talk about confidently, but then also give you a lot of practice about like, well, how do I practically put that into action? And then giving you opportunity too. You know, we're going to give you some opportunity. Potentially there's some dots that could get connected in terms of your licensing career with this as well. So just by doing the work. Sonnet, I still can't hear you. I don't know why it mutes you or something, but
we pressed mute all, so it's like that it just keeps muting me.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
And then it's like the host has said you can't unmute yourself. I was like, I am the host.
I am the host.
No, it's gonna be amazing, you guys. And if you aren't joining with us, just stay in our community. We are so here for you. And there's been so much value that has come from this week together. So run with that. Join us in the public group. If you aren't a part of our base camp, get into licensing base camp. It's 30 days for free. We have new assignments coming in, new agencies, new opportunities. There's so many dots that are connected in licensing base camp. If you're not a part, join us. Come check it out for 30 days. But we're just so honored that you guys showed up here consistently. We've had consistent numbers of showing up, of replays, of homework. You guys have really, yes, you can still send in the homework today. You can still send in the homework for any of the days. Go back into the Facebook group and post them.
Sorry, Sonnet. I gotta interrupt you. iPhone 12 Pro just said, I so need this, just signed up. Thanks for the kick in the butt. I don't know if that is iPhone 12, but welcome iPhone 12 to the party. Yes. Welcome to the Brand Slam. iPhone 12's in the party. And we hope you all join us. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's like, this is, a lot of people have been putting their money where their like intentions are with this. And I think it's like important. Like you were saying earlier, I just know from my own experience, and I was talking with this, we do a private mastermind in our licensing base camp group. We offer a private mastermind, and I was talking a little bit about my story in terms of like, I went from working a cushy office job to like basically having no job, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I went from that to like, I was living off of savings for a couple of years almost. And it eventually, but I was making a lot of investments that time, and the courses that I bought and all that stuff, it was an investment in myself. I will say, like, without reservation, that I have gotten back probably 500 or 600 times what I put in terms of like the education, in terms of the investment, specifically investments in educational programs. I've gotten so much back on. I've never done the numbers on it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was like 500 or 600%. Yeah. So it's like, you get what you putting your money where you really want to go, pushing the chips in that direction. You're not going to, you got to invest in yourself. You're the most important thing in your lifetime, in terms of like your own experience of life. So it's like, now's the time to act if you really want to do something and you really want to get prepared. You want to give yourself the best shot of actually following through with the things that you've said that you really want to do during the rest of this year. Brand Slam is going to be the best way to do that. So, that's all I got to say.
Before we wrap up, I just want to take a minute here. I feel like everybody take a big, deep breath and think about 2023. And where you want to be at the start of 2023. Because yes, John saying like he got how we're going to be posting homework for this weekend. Yes, you do have some 300 or 400 or 500 times the value back in his life and in the money that he's seen in placements. And if you think about, where do I want to be in 2023? Do I want to have my songs signed to some of these agencies? Do I want somebody pitching on my behalf? Or do I want to have more songs that are clear so that I can have more streams, have more blog coverage? Do I want to affect more people and change the world through my music? Do I want more people to hear what it feels like to hear a song about loneliness and feel less alone. Like how do you want to amplify what you're doing and what your purpose is on this planet? Take a minute to think about that, because that is the investment here. The investment is, do I put that time and energy and money into it right now so that I can start 2023 with some momentum and more clarity and game plan and connecting the dots? Because the dots always get connected in these groups. They always get connected.
They do.
And this is a chance to really take that step forward. And I think that when you make those investments in yourself, you really commit in a new way to what it is that you want the future to look like. So we're really close to 2023. This is the time. Take a deep breath. Think about how you're going to get there. And if you're not joining us, then really commit to doing the work on your own and find those accountability partners to get it done, so that a year from now, you can say, yeah, I did that work. January was gangbusters, and look how far I have come. All
yes.
right, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
The homework in there today for week 5. You have got the weekend to do it. One lucky person's going to get one of these hats. We are going to also have these hats for sale at some point once we have really refined the gradient here to match our branding specifically. And we'll see you in Brand Slam. If you have questions, you guys know how to reach us. If you want,
we're not hard to find.
You know how to find us as too. T-shirts and mugs are coming for sure. And join us in Basecamp if you're new and you don't know what we're talking about. Go to 2indie.com and see all of the fun things we've got there.
And I also just want to say, if anybody has any specific questions about Brand Slam or any of this stuff, or just wants to give feedback on what this One Sheet Wonders challenge was, we'd love to hear from you. You can send us an email. We're not, like Sonnet said, we're not hard to find. You can send an email to way@2indie.com. We're just way too indie, so
way too indie.
Way too indie. Way2indie.com. Way@2indie.com. And have a great rest of your week. And it's the weekend, so have a great weekend too. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in the group, and we'll be talking to you otherwise over the groups and all email and all that good stuff. But don't hesitate to reach out if you need us. Thank you so much for showing up big time this week. And until next time, have a good one.